So, check this out, people. These are a few scams you have to look out for here in the Philippines. And I don't believe it's just here in the Philippines, but because this is where I'm staying now, then this is what I'm going to talk about, the Philippines, right? And these scams have to do with Booking.com. So in essence, it's not a scam about the Philippines, or rather it's a scam about Booking.com, right? And this is how the scam works. You go on to Booking.com and someone will have a fake posting about an Airbnb, right? Or a hotel stay. And when you book it and you show up after you've paid, you will find out that you never booked with Booking.com, that the page was fake, and if you didn't use a credit card to pay for your stay, then you will lose your money. If you use a debit card, if you pay using any other method other than your credit card, you're going to lose your money. And not only are you going to lose your money, but if you're traveling from a long distance, you're going to get to your hotel stay and you're not going to have a place to stay, right? And the way the scam works is like this. You book on Booking.com, and then when you show up and you try to register with the hotel, whether through Booking.com or directly with an agent at the hotel, they won't find your reservation. It won't exist. Even though you've received what looks like legitimate emails from Booking.com, because they look so real that you won't even realize that you're being scammed up until the day that you have to check in, right? So I'll give you a perfect example. I booked a hotel, right? And after I booked the hotel, and thank God it was just for one night, and I used my credit card. But after I booked it, 3 days before I was to stay at the hotel, I got an email. And the email said, please cancel your booking with us, because unfortunately, the days that you chose to stay, the staycation Airbnb has already been booked. And the reason why they ask you to cancel is because if they cancel it, then they don't get the money. But if you cancel it, they get the money, because if you look at the ad, it says no cancellation. You cannot cancel or change the date, because if you cancel, there is no refund. And that's the scam. They want you to believe that there's actually a refund, when in reality there isn't a refund, because the ad is fake. And this is why they say no refund due to cancellation or changes of dates, right? So there is no refund regardless, even if the ad said easy or free refund. And so I got an email saying that they were already booked and to please cancel. So the first thing I did was I went back onto the page and the email, and then I found that it said no cancellation. If you cancel, you still have to pay. So what I did was I started communicating with the person who was sending me these emails, not just through emails, but through text messages, right? And I made sure that they clearly stated that they were going to refund me free of charge, even though the ad said no refund, because I need to show proof to my credit card that they asked me to cancel, not that I chose to cancel. And so the email that they sent me said cancellation without charge. And the text messages also said, please cancel without charge. We will not charge you. This cancellation is free of charge. And then they said you will receive your refund within 7 to 14 days. Ain't nobody gonna be receiving a refund between 7 to 14 days. That's bull. And the only reason I'm getting refunded is because I paid with my credit card, because I can dispute it with my credit card as a scam. I have the emails, I have the text messages. And then after these people asked me to cancel, they referred me to another staycation or Airbnb, right? And as soon as I got a text message saying, hey, after you've canceled, I will contact you with another possibility where you can reserve for whatever amount of nights you want, right? It's my sister-in-law's place. You can book with her. I will contact her, and then she will contact you. Now, first, they were dealing with me through Booking.com. Then they were dealing with me through email. Then they were dealing with me through text messages from one phone number. And then the guy who messaged me said, my sister-in-law will contact you. And then she contacted me with a different cell phone number. The reason why these people do that, email, Booking.com, one phone number, then another phone number, is because they're trying to hide their tracks. You can't trace them this way, right? But I saved all the messages, I screenshot them, and I was careful, right? I asked the right questions. I said, how much? Where is this place? I Googled it. I Googled the name of the person that they were referring me to. But the reason why I didn't book, it was all these red flags. The 4 different platforms they were using to communicate with me. The fact that they were using 2 different phone numbers to text message me, right? And then when they asked for payment, they asked for payment in advance, but not with a credit card. They wanted me to pay using either a debit card or, here in the Philippines, GCash. And when you use GCash, which is just like a debit card, it's cash. You're not going to get that money back. And they've already received and kept the money that I used to pay with my credit card. At least that's what they believe, right? They thought they were going to keep the money from the credit card, and then they were going to try and scam me again and have me pay again, but this time using cash. And so if you're not careful, because it's only a few bucks, I don't have a problem canceling and losing $25, because you can stay in a beautiful place here in the Philippines for about $25 a night. I've stayed in some of the fanciest hotels for less than that here. But nobody wants to be scammed. I don't want to be scammed. I don't care if it's $2, right? And so I said to them, who am I speaking to, right? Through text messages. I messaged, I said, who's this? Is this the lady that owns the staycation that you referred me to? And he said, no, this is her husband, right? First, it was his sister-in-law. He said, my sister-in-law. And then when I reached out to supposedly the sister-in-law and was messaging her back and forth, I asked, is this the woman who owns the Airbnb that I'm renting, the staycation? He said, no, this is her husband. All these red flags. And this is why you constantly have to stay on top of things, especially if you're booking a room, a hotel, an Airbnb, and you're coming from far away. You're coming from a long distance. My travel was 12 hours to get to where I was going, and I needed a room. I needed to secure a room in advance, and if I hadn't secured the room in advance, it would have cost me more to secure a room once I reached this destination. But luckily, I'm always on top of things. I pay attention to these things, because it's not the first time that I've tried to book a room with Booking.com, because that's the platform I use, Booking.com. But it's not the first time that I've had to deal with this type of scam. I've showed up at a hotel one time after booking it. Thank God I didn't pay at all. I waited till I got there, because sometimes you can rent a hotel here in the Philippines and then pay when you get there, right? that's another option. So I opted to pay when I got to the hotel. But once I got to the hotel, I couldn't find my registration, or rather my information. When I registered, they couldn't find my information. I didn't exist to them at the hotel. And then the security guard came to me and said, hey, if you need a stay, I can call my friend and he can find you a room. And then I had to pay double or 3 times that. So a lot of the times, the ones who are scamming you are the employees who work there. They'll put up these fake ads. They'll look legit. And then the price will be so cheap that you're like, oh my God, I gotta get this. And then when you get there, they see that you're trapped. They know you're trapped because they're the ones who are dealing with you when you get there. And they already know that's the setup, right? When I got to a hotel, after booking through Booking.com, because I thought the price was so cheap, I got there. There were 2 women from Germany who had booked the same room for the same day and the same time as I did. And just like me, they could not register to get in. And just like me, the security guard came to him and said, hey, I got a friend who can check you into the room, but it's going to cost this much. And they were charging 3 times or 4 times more. And what they do is they split the money because they know you're stranded. They know you're stuck. They know you got there from a long distance and you need a room. And unfortunately, these 2 women had to leave the hotel, go back to the airport and sleep in the airport because they had no place to stay. And they didn't want to pay 4 times the amount of the original price that was quoted to them by Booking.com. And so you have to be aware of these things, people. And again, it's not just for the Philippines. This is a Booking.com scam. You always have to watch. If the price is too good to be true, 100% the price is too good to be true. And so you have to compare realistic prices. If the price is too low, they're setting you up for failure. Once you get there, you find there is no room available for you. Someone will come to you, walk up to you, quietly whisper to you, hey, I can find you a room. They're the ones setting up this whole scam. They'll quadruple the price, get you a room, and then they'll split the money amongst themselves. While everyone else is paying normal price, you're paying 4 times the amount. So people, be careful. Watch yourselves and watch your money. Always use a credit card to book a room, a hotel, an Airbnb, and a flight. Because I also was almost taken by Hotwire.com at one point. They cleared my bank account some years ago when I came to the Philippines. And it took me 2 months to finally get my money back from my credit union because I had to not only fight Hotwire.com for them taking my money the way they did, but also my bank for allowing Hotwire.com to go into my bank account and clear my bank account without my permission. So finally, after 2 months, I was able to get that refund. But by the time I got it, the stress, the headaches, the nonsense that I had to go through, and on top of that, I'm overseas in Southeast Asia with no money. And so you have to always use a credit card when you're going to pay for something so that you don't find yourself stranded. And if you don't own a credit card, my best advice to you is don't book anything because they will clear your bank account. These people are pros. They know what they're doing. And even when you think you're smart, because trust me, I deal with scammers all the time, and I'm not easy to scam, but there's always a way. They always find a way to do it. And these people are a lot smarter than you think. So be aware, be alert, and be smart, and always use your credit card.